Live.
What's up, guys? First of all, I am so sorry that we are 17 minutes behind because mom life got in the way. Birthday party, cupcakes, chocolate eggs, crazy sugar highs. I got the kid to bed. I have a sick husband who usually does bedtime on our one lives night. So, first of all, apologies, but we're here and we are so excited.
Cheers.
So excited.
Cheers to mom life.
Cheers, people, because
it happens.
It's life. It just means I'm just going to have an extra glass of wine tonight, probably.
Or bottle.
Or bottle.
Whatever works.
Okay, so let's just get started right away, shall we? Because I'm super excited for tonight. It's a very good friend of mine who I met about a year ago in this month, April, at a course in New Mexico. And we actually ended up being bunkmates, which was super cool and super fun. Her name is Brimo, and she has a wild passion for animals, puppies, senior dogs, and has this amazing vision for a shelter and all sorts of cool things. And she's had such a journey getting involved with animals. So I'm so excited to bring her out, introduce her, and she's going to share her journey and sort of everything about animals that like we all don't know. So without further ado, this is Miss Brimo.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you out. Brimo and I actually just connected again probably a couple weeks ago, and we haven't chatted in a while, but it's so crazy how you can like basically live with someone for a week, and it was only a week, but then it's just like you just feel like family and you can just pick up anywhere. Like
Absolutely. It was awesome talking to you again, and thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yay, it's gonna be awesome.
Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
What are you drinking over there, Brimo?
My apple cider, what's it called? Sparkling cider stuff.
It's lovely.
Fancy. Is it homemade or is it like?
Oh no, store-bought.
I was like, are you rocking something fancy over there? Like,
no. I don't have those types of skills, but that's okay.
Oh, Janine says got into the edibles. Woo! Go Janine.
Nice.
Cheers.
Sounds like a good night.
We're gonna have some fun tonight. So Brimo, if you want to just kind of give us sort of like an overview of what you do, how you got involved with animals, and we can just kind of hear your story, and we'll just pipe in, ask questions here and there, and share your journey with us.
Sure. I have loved animals since I was a little kid. I was like an Animal Planet junkie, like all the time I was watching that stuff. Like, this is awesome. Like, I legit thought that I wanted to be a vet or a vet tech or something. But as I grew up, I realized medical stuff isn't really my thing. So I completely like geared off from that and wasn't super involved with animals. I always had dogs, but I wasn't like crazy involved in animal welfare till way later. My wife and I actually moved to California in 2016, and we kind of went through a lot because it was our first year of marriage and all this crazy stuff was going down. And I actually fell into kind of a depression just because of what was going on and how crazy my life was and stuff. And it was just hard being in a new state where I didn't know anybody. And it was just really difficult for me. And one night I just got like really depressed. I didn't really want to talk about anything. I was just like questioning like my existence. Like, why am I even here? My life sucks. This sucks. And I actually had my wife call a psychic, which was really funny. I didn't want to talk to like a suicide hotline or anything because I was just like, no, I just want to talk to a psychic. I want some insight, someone that can kind of see, something. And so I called the psychic and I was just like, upset. And I was just like, I don't even want to be here anymore. Why should I still be here? And she basically told me like, no, your life has so much purpose. You have so much left to do and so much life to give. Like, don't even think about trying to end it now or anything like that. Well, I wasn't going to hurt myself, side note, but she was basically like, your soul isn't fulfilled. And what you need to do is either help people or help animals. And I was like, well, I've always loved animals. I had 2 dogs already by that point. And I was like, okay, that sounds really cool. So let me see how I can do that. So I was just a Google machine and I was just looking up like all these animal jobs that were available in my area, what I could possibly do, and on Facebook and things like that. And I started coming across a lot of rescue groups and they needed help, like showcasing animals. They were always asking for help. And just trying to save as many animals as possible because, of course, in any state, especially California has done a really good job, but they still have animals that face potentially being euthanized. And so they try to get them out as quickly as possible. And so what I started doing as I was applying for animal positions anywhere I could find them, I started volunteering my time, and I've done video for a huge chunk of my life. And since I know how to do that stuff, I was starting to make videos for some of the shelters and the rescue groups, trying to help them showcase some of their animals that were more at risk. And they enjoyed it. They appreciated it. And I enjoyed it because, you know, I felt like I was doing something and I was helping. And not too long after that, like in the midst of all of that, I actually landed a job at this really awesome adoption center in West LA. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like dream job. Like I got to take care of all of these kittens and puppies and cats and dogs, and it was awesome. Like I enjoyed every minute of it, especially the first year that I was there. I was just like hanging out with them, cleaning up after them, feeding them, doing all the fun stuff that you get to do. But what I really absolutely loved about, you know, being there, besides playing with them, of course, was getting to help them find their forever homes. Because, you know, it sucks. Even though it was such a nice adoption center, they were still in like cages and kennels. You know, they weren't like running free and like having a lot of space. They were still confined. And we did the best we could with enriching them as much as we could and taking them out on walks and, you know, having volunteers help us with all of that and stuff. But it was still, you know, a shelter type environment. It wasn't a home. And yeah, I really loved when I matched, you know, the right cat with the person or the right dog with the person. I could see them like getting homes and stuff. And it was a wonderful experience for me. And there were so many stories and so many animals that touched my heart while I was there. It was just incredible. But that's what really like sparked my passion again for animals. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I am totally in animal welfare now.
And there's such a big like opportunity and window to get involved with that because there's animals everywhere, right? That are just in need. And I know specifically you have a massive passion for seniors, right? The senior pups.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Tell us about that.
Yes. Let's talk about the little seniors. So while I was working at the adoption center, you know, almost everybody that comes in wants a kitten or wants a puppy. Like we can't keep them because they're gone like the second they walk in the door, basically. Everybody wants a kitten or a puppy. And I get it. They're cute and stuff. There's nothing wrong with wanting a kitten or a puppy. But when you see so many older dogs, like a year and older, that are just sitting there, and cats too, that are just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting for their perfect person, it just tugs at your heart a little bit. And especially there was this one, I believe her name was like Annie, and she was older. She was a bigger dog. She was older. She had hip dysplasia. She couldn't walk perfectly. So we kind of had a little like a harness for her backside that we would like kind of hoist up a little bit, help her outside to go to the bathroom and walk around and stuff. And it just tugged at my heart a lot, seeing her kind of sitting in the kennel. And of course, not many people being super interested in an older dog that they thought would have all these crazy medical issues that they couldn't deal with or something like that. And they were afraid of taking on that commitment, which I understand, but at the same time, senior dogs are freaking awesome. Like once you get to know them and you see their personalities and stuff, there isn't much difference between a senior dog and a puppy, except that they're older, they're more experienced. You know, you may not
usually trained or house trained normally.
Oh my gosh, a lot of them have lived in homes before. They're house trained. They still like to play a lot of the time. They still like to go on walks and just spend time with you. They are the freaking best, and they're calm. They're not running around your house tearing everything up.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're probably a lot calmer. Hey,
yes, let's cheers to senior dogs because that's
cheers to senior dogs for sure.
Or over one, because it's so true, because so many people go for the puppies and stuff because their kids want puppies or whatever it might be. They love the look of a puppy, but it only looks like that for like 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's even harder is when, you know, the parents will adopt a dog for Christmas or for some holiday or a birthday or something like that. They get this puppy. They think, oh, my kid's going to take care of it. Your kid is not going to take care of that puppy. You're going to be the one having to try to train it. You're going to be the one having to try not to let it tear up everything in your house. Your kid is not that responsible. Unless your kid is like cleans their room all the time and can take care of like a fish or something, they're not going to take care of the dog. Sorry to break it to you.
Usually I remember this when I was younger. It was like, we got a dog because me and my brother wanted a dog, and we took care of it for like a month. And then it was like, did you feed the dog? Did you do that? Like constant reminders, and like you just kind of fall off. Like kids lose their excitement about it, and then it's a matter of the parents are now responsible, which in turn it actually makes almost more sense to get an older dog that's already trained.
Exactly. And then, the return rate would probably be less if people would want older dogs, because I would see that they would adopt them as a puppy. A few months later, less than a year later, they're back in the shelter, and it's like, crap, now we have to find a home for an older dog when all these people want puppies, and they repeat the cycle sometimes. And it's frustrating sometimes, because you're like, you could have had this awesome older dog that already was in a home and stuff, and now, as animal welfare people in animal welfare, we're having to take in these dogs that aren't trained, and they're young and they're excited, and they don't show super well all the time because they're so crazy. And people are like, well, I want like a calm dog. And so it's just a cycle. It's a crazy cycle that we go through sometimes. Absolutely.
What's really cool though? What I thought was really cool is when Beck showed me the video that you did. That's a really cool part about it though, is that you are now an advocate for those dogs, right? So you're showcasing that and showing people and teaching them that is, maybe a different perspective, because not everybody's all necessarily thinking about it that way, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that's super cool.
Thank you.
Like the video. So if any of our viewers haven't seen this video that Paulette is talking about, we shared it on our page. It's also on Brimo's page. And she had a video go viral about a day that her and her wife Annette went to a shelter, and they took a puppy, like basically on a day date. Yeah. Right? Like, and took it around. Where'd you guys go? You went to like Starbucks, and you went to the pet store, and you went to like all these such cool places. And Brimo's got these amazing video skills. Like she makes crazy good movies. So it's like, what better way to showcase? Because the internet is just like, you had, how many shares did you have on that thing? Like
oh my gosh, yeah, 70 to 100 something already, and over 7,000 people saw it. And it was really cool because I didn't expect this thing to just go viral. I was like, this dog is really cute. We want to show him a good time, and I wanted to showcase a dog, utilize my talents once again. Since I was doing that in LA, I wanted to do it here back home in Texas, at one of our biggest animal shelters here in town. And they just started this program called Shelter Pause, which is what you're referring to. And you can basically check out a dog for the day, take them wherever you want to take them, spoil them, get to know them. And you bring back a little report card and say, hey, he's good in the car, he's good on the leash. And you kind of showcase some of their personality traits and things that people never would have known otherwise just by walking into the shelter. Because the shelter workers, I feel for them. We got a lot more time with these dogs because I worked at a no-kill place. So the dogs were basically there until they got adopted, or we partnered with different rescue groups, and if they felt like the dog needed a break, we'd swap them out. So, they were pretty much there until they got adopted, or we felt like they were just being too stressed. At the shelters, completely different thing. They're there sometimes and they have risk of being euthanized because the shelter gets too full, or they're there until a rescue is lucky enough to pull them or something like that. So it's a completely different, aspect about that. So that's why I really love this program. We get to know the dogs a little bit, and we get to tell, put little report cards on their kennels like, hey, they like this, and, they have this personality, they do good in the car and things like that. And so I wanted to showcase that in a video because I felt like that would be a better way of showcasing this dog and what he's all about, rather than just writing about it.
It's so cool because honestly, like so many people don't know animals that are in shelters, like even like just going, like we call it the SPCA here, just going in there. You drive up and there's dogs going crazy in the kennel because who knows what their story is. Maybe they just don't like vehicles. Yeah. Or they're so bored that they're just like anxious, like take me for a ride. Maybe they're just excited. Like you don't know. And so it's always just like, oh, I don't want a dog that barks, or I don't want this. But getting to know, like I actually haven't been into ours, so I don't know if they have something like labeled or whatever saying a little bio on the animal, but having someone that comes in that's never met the dog and spends time with it and then writes a little thing like, this is how good they were for me and this is what happened. Like that is so powerful, I think.
Exactly. And I think, goes to show that my video went viral. I think it's doing some good for real. And he was pulled by a rescue. I don't really know what rescue came and pulled him, but that dog's name is Henry. And he was actually pulled from the shelter. So he's safe now. He's not going to be euthanized or anything, thankfully. So we're very happy. I was hoping
you had a part in that.
Yes, I hope so. And I would have loved to have heard that he got adopted, but I'm just happy that he's not in the shelter anymore. So we're good.
So cool.
I have some really good friends that live in North Carolina, and they actually foster dogs quite often. And it's so cool because they will do videos. So they're kind of doing the same thing where they constantly take pictures and shoot video and talk about the pups and like encourage people to, you know, look into getting, not like you said before, like it doesn't have to be a puppy. Like it's just the coolest thing. And I don't know about where you are, but where they are, they have like all kinds of stuff available for like animals, like events and like things that you can bring your dogs to. And I just think it's like so cool. We don't have anything like that here.
No, y'all don't have anything like that?
I don't know if we do. I definitely know I couldn't take my older dog to one because she's a little bit bad shit crazy, but we could definitely take our puppy if we lopped his balls off, for sure we could. Otherwise he'd just run around and have his way with all the women.
Yeah, so when we took Henry, we took him to Starbucks because they have little puppuccinos that you can get. They're totally free. You just go in and say, hey, can I get a puppuccino? And they give you the little cup, and it's basically just whipped cream. But the dogs love it. They love that stuff. Yeah. And then we took him to like Lowe's because it's dog friendly in Lowe's and Home Depot. You can take your dog in there and they don't care. So we just walked around and, you know, we're like, hey, here's Henry. He's really freaking cool.
That's so good for socialization and like busy places. Like, how do they react to just randoms?
Yeah. And then we took him to, I think it was PetSmart. We took him to PetSmart and just like let him run around and stuff. And it was really funny because it was by accident we realized that he really liked toys because he just kind of ran up and like started messing with the toys on his own. So that shot that you see of him like grabbing it and stuff and then like kind of smiling and like looking and we're like, yeah, that's good, Henry. Like it was so cute. Like that was not staged. He did that all by himself.
So cool. That's so cool. I want to hear, you have another story about a little senior male dog, I believe, right? Yes. From one of the shelters. Yes. Let's hear that story. This story, like, she told me this story the other day and I like teared up a little bit because
oh my gosh, I might start crying. Here we go.
It's so beautiful. Like how it goes. And it just shows like how powerful and grateful it like dogs can be too for getting a place to be comfortable and having someone that loves them for their end, right? Like,
yes. So, and yesterday it was either a year or 2 years of his adoptiversary of when that happened too. It was on April 1st. I think it was either a year or 2 years ago. I can't remember exactly when it was, but so there was this senior dog named Clinton. They said his age was, I think around like 12 to 15. He was a Chihuahua mix of some sorts. He was a little dog. And he was partially like seeing impaired. He might have been partially hearing impaired as well, because when they get older, everything starts to fall apart, unfortunately. Poor guy. But he had been adopted and returned, I believe, twice. I don't remember the first time of it happening. I may not have known him the first time. Second time he was returned, I felt so bad. So this younger guy had adopted him, assuming that he was going to be okay by himself, you know, for 8+ hours while he was at work. And he was upset that this dog was going potty in the house or the apartment, wherever he lived. And it's like, well, he's an old man. You need to put down some puppy pads or something for him so he, you know, doesn't go all over the place. But whatever the reason, the guy was just like, you know, it's not a good match. He brought him back. And poor Clinton steps in gum as he's like being returned or something. So he's got gum on him. He's like, you know, back in the shelter environment. He's not a happy camper. I just felt so bad for him. I was like, I asked my boss, I was like, can I just like take him home on a sleepover to give him a break from like being here and stuff? And she was like, sure. So I brought him home with me. You know, I let him sleep in a little kennel and we, you know, played with him and let him kind of roam and wander around the apartment and do his thing. And I kept bringing him home for a little bit. And I don't remember exactly how long it was, maybe about a week or so. I was bringing him home almost every night and just letting him hang out with us. And one day, it was like a Saturday, I came in and I was carrying him and putting him back in his kennel. And as I was bringing him in, we had like just opened and there was already someone like standing in front of his kennel. And he's like, is that Clinton? And I was like, yeah, this is Clinton. He's like, oh, I saw him on the website. I was like, oh. I was super surprised because not many people come in, you know, like specifically looking at senior dogs, especially not little Clinton over here. So I was putting him back and the guy signed in to meet him. So we brought little Clinton in the adoption room with him. We let him hang out with him for a while. And the adopter was asking questions and things like that, you know, like I'm a little nervous. He's a little bit older and stuff, you know, and he has a little bit of health problems. I think he had maybe like a little bit of kidney stuff going on or something like that. Maybe he had some special food for that or like a supplement or a medicine for it. We were like, yeah, you know, he's got this going on, but otherwise he seems okay. You know, he's done great here. He's done great with me when I've taken him home. I haven't had any problems. He's just a really cool guy. You know, I like him a lot. And the guy was a little hesitant. He's like, you know, I would hate to adopt him and then have him pass away really soon. But then he thought, you know, but at the same time, I could always get a younger dog and something tragic could happen to them too. So we're not guaranteed how much time, no matter the age of the dog, how long we're going to have them. And he was like, you know what? I'll try it out. I'll take him. And so we were like, oh my gosh. Like, we were so excited that he was taking this dog home. Like, I just remember being like, this is amazing. He's adopting this wonderful little senior dog. And he took him home and he loved him and he would take him on little walks and stuff. And he would take him everywhere he could take him. And it was just such a sweet story. And unfortunately, about 3 weeks after he was adopted, little Clinton passed away in his sleep. So the sad part is that he passed away, but the joyous part and the part that I'm so grateful for is the fact that someone took the chance on him and he got to go to a home where someone loved him and appreciated him all the way up until his last moments. You know, he got to die in a home rather than in a shelter environment, you know, where we loved him, of course, but it's better for him to be in that loving home environment.
That's magical.
Yeah.
It is pure magic.
It's so special because, yeah, if you look at it from that perspective where, you know, like you're doing something amazing for an animal, for a dog, like in the last days of their life, they're able to like live amongst the trees.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I just think that's so cool.
Yeah.
And dogs just have so much love to just give. So when they aren't able to do that, it's just like, it's so hard because like for them, because they just want to love people. Like, I can't stand that my dog licks me, but I know that he's just like this crazy 2-year-old wild puppy that just has like the biggest heart, and he's just like full of love. Like, I love you, mommy. I love you, mommy. And I'm like, get your dog away from me. But like, they're just like, literally, they're just these bundles of wild love that just are everywhere. Like, Brimo has, how many dogs do you have? You have 6.
We have 6 dogs and a cat. My cat's wandering around here somewhere. She's probably hiding. Like, what's going on?
So like, dogs are just, they just bring so much joy and love into like everything.
Absolutely. I love my dogs so freaking much. And I just feel like when you adopt them, I feel like they're so grateful to be in a home. Like, they might be a little like in their shell for the first few weeks, kind of like figuring things out. Like, am I going to stay here? What's going on? Who are these people? Like, it takes a minute for them to adjust. But once they adjust and they bond with you, and then you start to see their little personalities coming out, it is such a magical experience because you're just like, oh my gosh, like there's a personality in there that's so cute. Like, you know, you're so cute. You snore when you sleep, or you just get really excited when I come home. You get to learn all these little quirks about them, and you just see the personality coming out and stuff. It is just the best.
Totally. They just become part of a family.
Yes.
Harry says, I love my fur babies.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Totally. I have lots of friends who have fur babies, and yes, I think it's just awesome.
You have a fur kitty, don't you?
I do, outside.
You have a baby,
Whiskers the cat.
Whiskers. Yeah. So tell us, Brimo, about your vision for your shelter.
Absolutely.
Or rescue. Sorry, rescue shelter.
Yeah. So yeah, working in animal rescue and being around, and I will say this, I worked for one of the best animal welfare organizations in the country. I have to admit, like, they are big, they do a lot of good, and their vision is to help the United States be completely no kill by 2025. And I am totally behind them in that vision, and I want to help as much as I can. So working for that company had a lot to do with my passion coming out and having resources and things for me to kind of figure things out. But what I want to do and what I envision doing is opening up a senior dog rescue here in San Antonio, where I pull mostly from our main shelter, but also around Texas and anywhere else I need to in order to save as many animal lives as possible. But I want it to be set up like a dog cafe. So basically you can come in, you can order like drinks and stuff, and then we'll have like a living room type environment. Like, it'll be like going to like your grandma's house or something, you know, it's like really cool, really comfy, like recliners and couches and little dog beds and things just everywhere, and the dogs are kind of roaming free and interacting with people, and maybe bringing in little kids to read to them. And I want to partner with like nursing homes to where we either go bring the dogs to the old people, or the old people come hang out with the dogs, and it's the old dogs and the old people, and they're just like hanging out like in this home environment. And I want to have, you know, maybe even like dog yoga on weekends or something like that, and movies, Disney movies and random movies playing, and just so it's more of a home environment where the people are comfortable and they're able to socialize with the dogs outside of a shelter type environment, a more relaxed home type environment, so the dogs' personalities can come out. And it's just going to be better for everyone. I think it's going to be great for the dogs, because no matter how long it takes for them to be getting adopted, they're going to be able to, you know, feel like they're in a home type environment. So it's not going to be as stressful as them being in kennels and things like that. I want them to be able to socialize with each other, socialize with people, and just feel like they're at home. And I also want to incorporate like a hospice type program. So when we get dogs in like Clinton that don't have a lot of time left, we can have them go into, you know, foster homes, but we take care of the medical expenses and things like that. We just want them to allow them to live their last days out in a home and things like that. And I've gotten all these wonderful ideas from just visiting different dog rescues and talking to different people. And like I said, the organization I used to work for has definitely had so many resources and partners of other rescues that has helped me come up with a lot of these ideas and stuff. But that's just my vision, and I want to bring that here. I think it would be freaking awesome.
Like we need a mic drop like that. Actually, that honestly, Brimo, I haven't heard your vision that clear, and then it's just like, that sounds absolutely incredible. Like a magical place to go.
I would want to go spend my Saturday afternoon doing that. My kids would freak out. They would be so excited.
Like you'd probably get like school age kids coming in after school and like ordering a drink and socializing with these animals, and like they would just get so much like interaction and love from just everyone.
Exactly.
And then everyone's gonna go home and be like, "Mom, I want this dog that's older and it's so cute." Like, oh my gosh, I can
exactly. Educating the public about how awesome senior dogs are, and also like maybe partnering with some colleges and stuff during like stressful exam period times. They can come in and just like check out a dog and go study in like a little nook with a dog or something like that. You know, like I think that would be so awesome. I wish I would have had dogs to cuddle with when I was in college. Like,
girl,
right?
What the hell? This is so cool. Honestly, I've never even like that thought has never crossed my mind, and I'm just like, that's awesome.
Thank you.
You got my wheels spinning right now. That is so cool.
Yeah, like I just geek out on thinking about what I can do.
We need to have a serious cheers to that.
We have a cheers to amazing ideas.
Yes.
Brimo, that's going to be the best rescue ever.
Oh man, I'm so excited. Like I can't wait to start putting everything together and saving as many doggy lives as I possibly can, because I think it's going to be so freaking awesome.
And even how you were talking about how like in the you know how you could like adopt a senior at the end of their life. So like you could have them come to your house if they're like at the end of their life. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Can you imagine?
Yeah, people that do hospice have a huge heart, because I'll probably
are you calling it hospice?
Hospice, yeah,
like foster hospice.
Hospice, yeah, exactly. Exactly what I'm talking about. Like people that can do that have such big hearts, and I commend them so much. And I'll probably have to do it just because it's my rescue and stuff. At the same time, it will be so hard for me to do it a lot, because I would just be bawling every single time they passed away. But at the same time, I would be so happy that they were in my home and not, you know, in a shelter environment. So,
but what a gift.
Exactly.
Right? And I'm sure that even just your vision has inspired so many people to like, someone out there right now is watching that knows somebody who is like gonna do the same thing.
That would be wonderful. Help,
right? Like as many as possible out there. Like they have all these like cat cafes, but I think the cafes just own the cats, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it works in different places. They had one here for like a minute, but then it closed down, so it's not around anymore. There was one in LA that I knew of, and then there actually was a dog cafe in LA. It was really small. It wasn't bad. It was really small, and like it was like a 2-room kind of building in a shopping center. So like one room was strictly just the cafe, and then one room was strictly just where you like hung out with the dogs. So they had a similar idea to what I want, but I wanted to to be in one building, I guess, where you have access to kind of both. Obviously, the food has to be separate from the animals because I think that's how the laws are, obviously. But definitely like interactive and just fun and comfortable. Just feeling like you're going to like grandma's house or something.
So cool. Oh my God, you have doilies everywhere.
Well, we're behind you, sister.
Yeah, thank you.
Full force. I love it. I think it's amazing.
Thank you. I'm really excited for it. Super excited for it.
Totally. Now, so do you have anything else about all of that you want to share with us? Anything that you want to throw in? And
do you have a page?
Yeah.
Do I have a page?
Yeah.
Yeah. My regular Facebook fan page is just facebook.com/Brimo Morales. That's my Facebook fan page. Instagram at Brimo Morales. You can talk to me there if you want to link up or something. I'm here. I don't have one specifically for a rescue group just yet because I haven't like incorporated it and made it like official or anything, but I will eventually.
Yes, you will.
Yes, I will.
Brimo's also in the online marketing world, so with her fan page, that's what she does. But you guys can totally head over to her page and follow her, and there will be updates whenever something pops up. And as her journey continues, like that's where you're gonna find it all out.
Yeah. I also have a little podcast. I've only shot a few episodes, so what I've been doing, I've been talking to some different rescues that focus on like seniors or have seniors in their rescues and things like that. I've interviewed a few of them. I've introduced like all of my dogs and talked about other little things about, animal welfare and things like that. It's called Brimo's Old Farts and Friends. Yes.
I love it. Are you still on the podcast app? Are you on the podcast app?
It's on like iTunes and the podcast app. So you should be able to find it. I also have a Patreon specifically for that because that's where I want to start fundraising for the rescue itself. So it's patreon.com/Brimo the Coolest. But I can always send a link to that later to find that.
Maybe we'll put all of these things, we'll edit the post from tonight's live.
Okay.
And we'll put all of your information on top where people can find you. And then, if you want to drop that link maybe in the comments of the live, that would be awesome. And then anybody who wants to find you knows where to find you.
Brimo's Old Farts and Friends. And if you go to YouTube, there's videos of everything because I actually got to tour. So I don't know if you have seen my shirt. You got to look at my shirt. It says "Ay Chihuahua." And it's actually from one of my favorite senior rescues. It's called Muttville, and it's in San Francisco. And I actually got to interview them and got to do like a whole tour and things like that. And that's one of the episodes. You get to go in and like see how their setup is, and it's very similar to what I want to do. And they're in San Francisco has like really tall buildings, so it's like a 3-story building, and they're on like the 3rd floor mostly, and they have different sections of rooms, and the dogs are roaming free, and the volunteers come in, take them out on walks. And if you want to come in during the weekends, you can come in and like visit with the dogs and like see everything. And it's very similar to what I envisioned. And when I saw it, I was just like, this is amazing. Like, I freaking love this so much. Like, it was awesome. We actually stumbled upon it accidentally, I think. I can't remember, but my wife and I visited January, I think, of 2017 or 18. I can't remember. No, 17, I think. We were in San Francisco because she was getting an award. And I think I had heard of this rescue somewhere. I don't remember where, but we actually got to go and visit. And I was just like, this is like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. All of these dogs are like roaming free and like having fun and just being happy because they're not in, kennels. They get to roam around and see people and interact with each other. And it was awesome.
Oh my God, you're so inspiring.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that we got to connect through this because this is like so cool. And like I said earlier, I'm sure there are like tons of people out there that will totally relate to this and be like, oh my God, and maybe inspire somebody else to do something too. Right?
I hope so. Just save the seniors, save all the dogs, but especially the seniors, save the seniors. I've got some of my dogs here with me. This is little Benny. He's my smallest little dog.
Wow.
Benny.
Benny. He's about 9 years old, about to be 10. And we actually got him off the street. he was like roaming around in our like little neighborhood where our apartment was in Long Beach, and I was like freaking out because this little dog is like running around. I was like, whose dog is this? You know, like you gotta like get him out of the street and not let him roam around. He's gonna get hit by a car or something. Like I was terrified something was gonna happen to this little dog, and so I followed him. It was really funny. One day I was supposed to go to work, and like I was late because I had my turkey burger, and I was trying to feed this dog the turkey burger to try to catch him, and he ended up eating all of my turkey burger, and then he ran off, and I did not catch him. And I was like, damn it, I really need to catch this little dog. But my neighbor actually caught him for me because her dog was in heat, and so he smelt it, and so she was able to like get him into her apartment. And I just went in there the next day and just like scooped him up, and I was like, I have my little dog now. But he wasn't being taken care of. I actually followed him home, and he was, I don't know how to describe it. It was like this little building. I don't know if it was a house or if it had been like a house at one point that they turned into like little apartments or something. But behind one of them was like not even a backyard, or like it was more like a little like alleyway, and they had set up these not even real like fence posts or anything. It was like what are those things called? But it was like pieces of wood, and he could easily just like get out of them and like go roam around. And we went over there, my wife and I went over there at night, and he was just barking and barking and barking, and nobody came out. Nobody seemed to care about him. There was like an old can of some nasty pedigree dog food just sitting there and stuff. And I was like, they don't care about this dog. And so when we took him in, I was just like, I got him. Like, he's mine. He's my dog now. We got him fixed. We got him microchipped. He was my dog. So that's how we got little Benny.
Aw. How long have you had him?
I think it'll be 2 years this month. I think that's when we got him. And then I got my little Winnie here. I was telling you about her yesterday. My little Winnie, who's about 16 now. And her story is actually
16, did you say?
When what?
16?
She's about 16, yeah.
Yeah.
She's about 16 years old. And her story is like actually super serendipitous because like I did not know I was getting another dog when this happened. But one of the rescue groups that I made a video for, like right before I got my job in LA, is called LA Love and Leashes, and their organization is awesome. They actually take shelter dogs and cats out of the shelter for the day. They put them in a pet store so people can adopt them straight from the pet store rather than going into the shelter themselves. And it's great for the dogs because they get a break from the shelter. They get to be with people. They get to interact. They get to go on walks and stuff. And it's like day camp, basically. They get to get out of the shelter and have fun for a day and then go back to the shelter at night if they're not adopted. So I was looking through Instagram and I saw this dog and I was like, oh my gosh, she is so cute. And not only that, she looked like one of the dogs at my work that I had fallen in love with that got adopted. But I was happy that she got adopted. But I was like, oh my gosh, she looks like, her name was Vanilla. She looks like Vanilla. She's so cute. I've never seen another dog where her ears and then like her arms and legs were like a different color. Like it was cool. Like I'd never seen that before. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to meet this dog. And I like ran over there right before work one day. And of course they were late. So I was like, crap, I'm going to be late to work again because of a dog. But they were late, but they finally came in and they just handed her to me. And as soon as they handed her to me, she put her little head on my shoulder as if she was giving me a hug. And I melted into this little dog. I was like, oh my gosh.
Done. She's mine.
Exactly. And I worked the next day, but the day after that I was, off and I was going to adopt her, but I could not wait another day. I literally went to the shelter the next day and adopted her and took her to work with me. And thankfully my bosses were cool with it. Working with people in animal welfare, they get it. They were cool with it. So I was like, okay, thank God. But it's super serendipitous because I didn't realize, but someone had actually dumped a crate, at least 2 or 3 different Chihuahuas in a crate behind our work. And I knew that this has happened, but I didn't know what they looked like. I didn't know anything about them because it was like overnight and I didn't work overnight. And so they had taken those dogs and they had taken them to the nearest shelter. Lo and behold, Winnie was one of those dogs. And so it was just like, wow, I adopted a dog that was abandoned behind my work without realizing it. But it was
serendipitous.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
Oh my God, we have lots of people saying that they're one of our friends, Janine, she said, my heart button isn't working. Bless you, Brimo. And then everyone else is typing in saying that they can't use the heart button for some reason.
Oh.
So
but they love you.
lots of love. Everyone's trying to give you lots of love right now.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Jay says, damn heart button.
So
that well, see, you're inspiring people all over the world.
Oh, good.
for real. And who knows, like maybe someone in Texas that has the same passion as you do is gonna see this and like hit you up for like info, whatever, right? And
yeah, absolutely.
People to like partner up with, pair up with, however you can make your rescue cafe work is gonna be like
that would be
absolutely incredible.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know you have to keep us posted.
Of course.
Because it takes a lot to get something started. Like it's an investment.
It is. It is.
And fundraising and so much to actually have enough to support senior dogs and all their medical issues, because they do take more than others, right? So to run a shelter or a rescue with animals that are requiring more, they need so much of the extras. So it costs a lot to do that sort of thing. So
absolutely. I mean, all animal welfare is expensive. The biggest thing with seniors a lot of the time is their teeth. They either have like rotten teeth, or their teeth are falling out, or they've got all sorts of stuff going on with their teeth, which potentially leads to other problems later on down the road because their teeth are so bad. But yeah, even young dogs, like when you pick up animals sometimes off the street and in shelters, they'll have like kennel cough, they'll have fleas, they'll have mange, they'll have all sorts of like stuff going on. And then with seniors, because depending on how they were taken care of, it's like, okay, this person obviously didn't feed them the right food, so now they've got, you know, like something else going on. They've got like diabetes, they've got kidney issues, they got something else going on. So it's just like, okay, guys, I really want to educate people on, you know, the care of dogs, of course, but also, you know, senior dogs really don't necessarily require extra care. It just depends on the shape that they're in, you know, when you find them, when you adopt them, see what's going on and stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very cool, though. I'm super stoked for you.
I know, me too. I can't wait to see where this goes.
Oh, man. I know. Yeah. Hopefully by the end of this year, I'll have a little bit of something going. I'm still getting my business up and running. My wife is an occupational therapist. She just got a new job, and so she's getting that all up and running and stuff. So things are kind of moving and moving and moving now, and we're really excited about where everything's going. So yeah, it's in the works.
Oh, bless your heart, sister. That's awesome. You got lots of fans here in the comments. I don't know if you can see them, but you got a lot of fans.
I can see. Yeah, I can see stuff rolling by. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate all the love and support. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And whoever's saying the heart button's not working, I see a lot of hearts up here. So,
do you? I can't see any of that.
Oh, well, that sucks to be you, huh?
No,
I can see all the love happening over here.
That's okay. We'll just rewatch it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Brimo, for sharing all of that, because I feel like you have inspired so many. And whoever watches the replay, let us know you're watching the replay, because this is amazing. So I love what you're doing and where this is going to go, and it's just going to expand huge and be incredible. So
can we have a final cheers to Brimo, the beautiful soul?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for doing what you do.
Absolutely.
And to all those beautiful animals out there.
Absolutely. Yes. Loving on animals. I do that very well.
So hang out with us as we head out here, Brimo, because we can chat afterwards. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, you guys. Our music. You guys.